wanted to share the very first bird. Is an area that we're in, and this is what we call the Greater Yellowstone ecosystem. The blue and the yellow you all is over 23 billion acres of public land. These are forests, national parks, refuges, all intact and connected. It's the last remaining piece in the lower 48 like this. So these are lands that we all own. We all have a say in what happens to these public lands. And this is where we do our work. This is where raptors are living. And the first one to share with you, which is so near and dear to my heart, are the Peregrine Falcons. Well, and anyone, when I ask a question, maybe a short raise of hand, not of eyes. Anyone seen these before? Yeah, a few of you. Terrific. You all, this is an extraordinary animal. This is not only the fastest animal on the planet, okay? And I'll explain that in a minute. It has a wing that is perhaps the most elegant structure in all of nature. All of our airplanes, particularly the jet fighters, are all modeled after this wing right here. So we have brought it into the human and I'm always going to let this bird talk, okay? And not me be an interruption. This is Violet. Violet is a female Peregrine Falcon. The males are much smaller and most all raptors. The birds that have to kill things, right? That's what we're talking about, and I'll keep reminding us of that. This is a big, beautiful female, and the male would be almost not quite half this size. Okay? And then throughout the program, we have to ask ourselves, why is that? Why are females much bigger, almost by half? They weigh more, they can fly faster, etc. But the quick story here, well, this is just pure elegance. Okay? Here's a bird that you all belongs to the group of raptors that you saw. There's 6 different groups, and there's 30 different types. Okay? Let's pretend for one moment, just pretend we're at a big round table, but they're all raptors. And they're looking at each other across the table going, holy cow, we have to kill things. That's our job. How are we going to all get along? Okay? Here's what the peregrine, sitting at the table, said, you know what? I got an idea. I'm watching all you eagles and hawks, vultures, trying to eat something off the ground. Right? Going to chase a bunny, chase a little ground squirrel. I got a better idea. How about this? I'm going to fly at 2,000 feet and look for little birds below. Let's call it a little barn swallow. They're that big. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fly, tuck my body into this incredible missile shape, and drop at 240 miles an hour. Fastest moving animal on the planet. And dive down, come down on this little poor bird that has no idea what's about to happen, and has to come on sort of a flat, bunch up these long finger-like feet, and punch the little bird. Now the bird's spinning out of the air, going, oh my gosh, what happened? Now this peregrine has to turn at about 12 Gs. I don't have any pilots in here. That probably almost ripped my arms off. I've got to turn. Now I'm going to grab that little bird that's spiraling out with these feet. I can't crush it. I can't squeeze it to death. Don't have those feet. Look at those. Thank you. That was perfect. We talked about that before. So now I've got this little bird in my feet. Now I'm going to pluck it, feather by feather, in the air while I'm flying. Yep, see? And then I still have to find a way to kill this poor little bird. I have a notch in my beak. You know, I have a parakeet. They have the same. Anyway, I'm going to put that notch right in the spine and twist. That's the only way I can kill a prey if I'm a peregrine. eat it like a lollipop in the air. That's the falcon. Okay? That's what's going on inside. No other birds doing that. Okay? What was the idea? Find a place to find prey with no competition. Make sense? Perfect. You guys, what an amazing, elegant strategy to exist on this planet. And the whole idea, the superpower is speed. Speed and these incredible eyes that allow what you and I don't have, two abilities to focus in each eye. They have a telephoto lens and a macro in each eye. Otherwise, I'm going at 240 and I have a bird that's moving. How am I supposed to keep all that in track? I can say it sort of in a sort of physiological, but I still don't understand it. I couldn't imagine for a day having an eye that allowed me to do that. So that's part of the falcon world. And we also know that peregrines have a unique place to live. Remember the round table. What can I do that I don't have to compete with anyone else? So, next question at the table. Does anyone want to live up on a cliff? Nope. Perfect. And it's also a safe place. No coyotes, wolves, bears, or anything's going to come up on the cliff. Okay? But anyone? It's the little red dot. It's terrible. There's the nest. They're on a scrape. They don't even build a nest. Little peregrines are just going to fly into these steep cliff walls, lay their eggs right on the cliff, right? And we call that a scrape. Okay? Again, we're trying to get inside the mind of this beyond beautifully gorgeous bird. Okay, now we're on a cliff. We're going to lay our egg right on the rock. What shape ought that egg be? A, round, or B, really oblong? Oblong, yes? How come? It's going to roll in a circle. All peregrines, all raptors are turning, all birds are turning their eggs during the incubation phase. If that egg were round, I don't think we'd have falcons around today, right? The eggs would just be like, oh, darn, they rolled off again. We got to figure this out, okay? Another little adaptation to these birds. The problem was, given that strategy, is back in the late 50s, 60s, some of you probably in this room know, a beautiful book called Silent Spring by Rachel Carson was all about how pesticides were entering our environment. This is back right when I was born, back in the mid-50s. And it was called DDT. And I know you all have heard of it. And it's a good thing to read up again about, because it's still in the environment. But here's what was happening. We were spraying, it came from World War II, and we applied it into the agricultural field, which I probably would have done. And what was happening is it was being sprayed, and some little birds were eating the seeds. Who loves to eat birds? The falcons. The peregrine is a bird specialist. That's about all they're going to eat. Okay? So now they're getting the pesticide. It was causing a problem with depositing calcium to make the egg. Okay? But they were still hatching. But now the eggshells were super thin. And that's okay, unless you're laying your egg on a what? On a rock. Yeah, essentially sandpaper. And they're turning them. And east of the Mississippi, we lost almost the entire population of peregrine falcons. It took 2 biologists, not 100, and a whole bunch of citizens like us, all a bunch of bird geeks like us going, you heard Violet here a minute ago. No one was hearing it, and no one was seeing it. All these cliffs, with our binoculars, every year we go to the same place, they're not here. And it took that effort to then bring this bird back. So it's a beautiful conservation success story on how a bird get into trouble, bring it up because the same with the Raptor Center, we are looking for answers and solutions. We're not sort of all upset and wrapped up about the past. I probably didn't know any better than anyone else. Now we know these kinds of things. We still know issues are happening. But what are the answers? What are the solutions? And as biologists, that's our job here. And we'd love any of you to get engaged and involved. If you have curiosity, that's all we're asking for to the general public, is to have curiosity along with it. Any thoughts on peregrines, real quick, please?
How does Dylan get the bird to stay on his team?
Okay. Great question. Dylan?
Yeah, definitely. So how do we get these birds to stay on our hands? Or more so, mine. So when it comes to our birds, we actually spend hours upon hours training them. So that's actually my job, is working with these guys to get them confident in these programs. So the way that we do that is, you notice those big pieces of food that she was eating earlier? So when we were giving her food, she's like, okay, this is the best place to be. I'm getting all this free food, but also I'm getting a stable perch as part of that. So when we're training raptors, kind of two things that they're gonna look for is a stable perch and also free food and easy access to it. So essentially to Violet, I'm pretty much a glorified tree branch that delivers food. So not a name for a trainer, but anyways, that's how we get her to be here on Glove, but also we really pride ourselves in making sure that our ambassadors are confident in these programs as well too.
So you're question, how does she think her hand at all?
So I don't have it where she's secured. So with her, the only stuff that I'm using here are Jess's in a leash. But as you can see, they're pretty loose, so it's where she's choosing to be on Glove. I'm not forcing her to do so. So all this gear is removable. The only reason why we have it here during this program is since there's a lot of you in here, and also these raptors up here are quite unsafe for raptors, we just have this on during programs like this. But she's trained to let me actually take these off and also touch her talons without it being adverse for her as well too. So hopefully, does that answer your question? Yeah, of course.
Okay, great. Come on, curiosity, let's hear it.
Was Violet injured? Is she going to be released, and where would you release her?
Thank you, great question. Yep, so all of our avian ambassadors, we look at Violet here as a pure equal to us. Violet came from a retired falconry program, of which I have been as well. So a perfectly healthy flighted bird. Some of our birds, which you will meet, have not had that opportunity. They have been sort of hit by vehicles, hit windows, lose eyesight. Violet is a perfectly healthy bird. Violet and her partner, a male, Horace, are both with us. And falconer was a gentleman up in Belgrade, Montana, one Montanans, who I've known, and he said, I'm retiring. Would you like these two beautiful birds? Great question. Thank you. So if a bird is in our ambassador program, they have sustained some permanent injury and cannot be released. Yeah. Hope that answers. In the back.
Sorry if I missed this before. What is the average life expectancy? And also, are they birds that partner out for life, or do they, go out and meet other people or other birds?
Yeah,
These little guys, yeah.
Yes. Off-site? You mean off? I missed the left part.
Sorry. So do they mate for life, or?
Oh, I'm sorry. Great question. Okay, you all. This is great, right? And now you head in the back. You're gonna say, okay, cut this guy off. They do mate for life, okay? And that happens right up until the day one partner is gone, okay? And within a day or two of our research, there's another mate. Okay, mate for life, yes. However, if it's a red-tailed nest and the male was injured, hit by another bird, maybe hit by a car, and another male's flying around going, if I grab a mouse and I take it to Sally, I bet I'm in. And that is what we see within sometimes hours, that day. Yeah, so good question on that. And the other question too on that.
Life expectancy.
Oh, life expectancy, yeah. So in all raptors, it's a really hard life. Okay, so even a peregrine flying up high, diving on birds, 3 out of 10 times. We're going to miss 7 times. A red tail on a pole is going grab a little mouse and miss 6 out of 10. And they're gonna crash and burn, you're gonna watch it, and go, that bird just broke every bone in his body. Gets up, do it again. So, probably in the wild, 8 to 10. And we think too, this is the longest distant migrant in North America. This bird's gonna fly twice a year, 7,000 miles. Add that to your lifespan. Okay? And along that journey, we have to kill things, we have to rest, we have to eat, and not get eaten. So, really good question, you all. In captivity with us, Peregrine Falcons can probably be 15 to 18 years old. Even there's 20-year-old peregrines in a couple of zoos. So these are birds that we share the world with. And this is a great example of it. Anyone familiar with peregrines nesting on skyscrapers? Yeah. Think about that. That is the coolest darn thing ever. Let's put a big box out and they'll use it. So peregrines have been found, and we know they're on every continent except Antarctica. These birds are found everywhere. They're not uncommon. They just hit a problem with humans. And that's it. Hitting windows. But this is, you guys, this is awesome to me. As a biologist, to know that these birds will do this. And what are they after in these big cities? Anybody? Rats? Pigeons. Thank you. Yeah. And pigeons, you all carry a lot of nasty things. They're fun to feed in the city, but one of the issues with peregrines is there can be different types of problems within pigeon communities, and then the peregrines will start disappearing. And we've seen that in the past. So. Okay, peregrines, falcons. Big, wonderful group of raptors that's probably even going back, you guys, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. The kings during the medieval days had to have a peregrine. The peasants would have been me. I've been flying red-tailed hawks as a falconer for a long, long time. They fly and hunt right off your fist, and they kill a rabbit, and I eat it for dinner if I were a peasant. The kings didn't need to worry about food. Okay? But there's the wing. You can see Violet's wing, and oh, you guys, that's the fastest wing that's ever evolved in our planet. Right there. No other. So as Dylan starts putting Violet away, and the next avian ambassador comes out, any last questions, please?
Has Violet had